stop and search on steroids, man. Yeah, 100%.
Our argument is that it's not in accordance with the law, that it breaches our rights to privacy and freedom of expression and freedom of assembly. Yesterday, the Home Secretary announced on the eve of our hearing in the High Court that there will be a national rollout and ramping up of live facial recognition across the whole country, 5 times the amount of facial recognition that we've had before.
This will include the largest ever rollout of live facial recognition technologies across England and Wales.
You want to roll out facial recognition cameras across the country. Do you have public support for that, given it is a big change in the idea that wherever you are in the country you could be caught on a facial recognition camera?
What I would say to people who are very motivated by sort of campaigning on civil liberties is that you can't enjoy any of your liberties in any country if you're not safe.
This kind of confirms the fear that we've had for a long time that live facial recognition is part of a mass surveillance infrastructure that is now dropping across this country. So that makes today's hearing all the more important, that we can hold the police to account about the way that this is being rolled out in such a blanket way across the country.
My name is Shaun Thompson, and I was caught up in the misidentification in London Bridge.
I'm saying that face is not me. I've said that, you guys see that it's not me. Why don't you not do your proof?
And today, we're here to get justice, to ensure that it doesn't happen to anybody else. I was coming back from a patrol with the Street Fathers, a group called the Street Fathers. And on the way back home, I was stopped by the police. They stopped me right outside the station in regards to this facial recognition event and made a mistake.
Firstly, what does she see as an acceptable error rate for these technologies? Secondly, does she support compensation for people who are misidentified by this sort of technology? And thirdly, will she put it all, she talked about regulations, will she put it all on a statutory basis based on primary legislation that passes through this House?
I asked the Home Secretary what rules there are to control the police using facial recognition. You know, there's no law. I mean, the House of Commons has never actually debated the use of facial recognition. The police are taking a bit of law from here and a bit of law from there. None of it was designed for facial recognition. We need proper underpinning to this, and we need proper judicial overview. So if the police are tempted to misuse it, a court will stop them doing so.
I've just spent 2 days in court with our excellent legal team. Really, they are the best, making the case against the Metropolitan Police about their use of live facial recognition. And our argument is that it's not in accordance with the law, that it breaches our rights to privacy and freedom of expression and freedom of assembly, because it's so expansive, and really there are very few limits on the ways in which the Metropolitan Police can use this technology that impacts all of our rights and really the nature of the city and the country that we live in. And it's such an important time for us to be doing this because, of course, the backdrop is that the government is pledging to massively ramp up live facial recognition all across the country. There are fixed cameras now that can be used for live facial recognition. To be honest, that's always where we thought it was going to go. It was never going to be restricted just to these vans that are used and trials. I feel like that's really a toe in the water. That's what we're here fighting against, and it's been amazing, thanks to everyone who supported and enabled us to do this challenge, that we're able to go in there and do what we did today. It's an incredible example of people power, and we really would not have been able to do that without the support that we've been given. So incredibly grateful for that. We have to wait a couple of months now, maybe a few months for the judgment. The judges have got a very, very important job to do. Looking over the policy and looking over all the evidence that's been submitted, and I'm sure the weight of the judgment won't be lost on anyone really, given that this has such an impact on the rights and freedoms that we have in our society. What Shabana Mahmood, the Home Secretary, said recently is that her vision, her dream is to have the eyes of the state on you at all times.
You said recently an interesting thing. You said it was your dream that the eyes of the state can be on you at all times.
This was a really, really important fight that we are pursuing. Unfortunately, it's one of many. And the only way that we can keep doing them is to have support from people like you, so that as soon as the next challenge comes along, and already we've got many on the go, that we've got the strength of your support to be able to stand up and meet those challenges. So thank you so much for your support. If you're not supporting already, you would like to, please do. We'll put links in the description. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe.